The Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk, call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower?
Here.
Commissioner Patton?
Here.
Commissioner Webb?
Here.
Commissioner Goss?
Here.
Mayor Manella?
Here. Any corrections or addition to the minutes of the meeting on July 23rd, 2018? Hearing none, those minutes will be accepted. Any additions or corrections to the minutes of special meeting on July 24th, 2018? Hearing none, those will be accepted. Okay, we got a special guest with us tonight. And we're going to honor him, Danette Natissery, owner of Ty D here in Marion, Illinois. And as you guys probably know his story, and he can talk on it a little bit more, he was part of the rescue in Thailand of the soccer team and its coach. And I think it's just imperative that, you know, we as a city, and him being one of our residents, acknowledge what he did and praise him for it and give him the accreditation he deserves. So if you'd like to come forward, sir. We got Representative Dave Severn here from the state of Illinois, and Dave's got his mechanical arm going. He threw too many pitches at the Co-League World Series, and he's hurt himself, so.
He lost to be an arm wrestler.
Oh, I've just been told by Commissioner Hightower that he lost to him at arm wrestling, which actually caused that injury, so I stand corrected.
There you go.
Put that real one. Okay, got a certificate of appreciation to that history for your valiant efforts in rescuing members of the Wild Boar soccer team and their coach in Thailand. Without the efforts of you and many other, the lives of these men might have been in peril. Awarded this 13th day of August 2018, Anthony L. Renell, Mayor. Thank you. How'd you like that, Mayor?
I just want to say this before we start. Again, as the mayor said that you're a hero, and as we talked earlier that didn't realize just what a big deal this is. Of course, saving those 13 lives, but you were in the right place at the right time, and we appreciate you. And a lot of people have come to appreciate your food and love your food, but I think that even more so your abilities and the talents that you had and being at the right place at the right time and doing what you did is something that we will never forget, and we appreciate that very much. And not only do we love your food, but we love you too. So I want to read this to you. So this is from the state of Illinois, the House of Representatives, the 100th General Assembly. Again, we're celebrating our 200th bicentennial of the state of Illinois. So the House of Representatives, we get together every 2 years, and so this is our 100th. We get together every year, of course, but this is our 100th General Assembly. So I'm going to read this to you. It says, the House of Representatives acknowledges Danette Natissery in recognition of helping to save the 12 boys and their coach trapped in the underwater cave in Thailand, lending your knowledge and skills and being a groundwater expert to help retrieve them from the underwater cave system, offered by Representative Dave Severn and signed by our good friend Mike Madigan and the House Clerk, gentleman by the name of John Holman. So again, thank you very much. I appreciate very much what you've done, and we will never forget this, and we would hope that you would put these up in your restaurant and let the people know that just what you've done. So thanks for being at the right place at the right time. Sometimes in life we think, well, we just happen to be somewhere. Well, you didn't know why you were there, but I think to this day and the rest of your life you'll realize what you were doing. So we appreciate that very much. If I hadn't tore my bicep off of my arm, I would have picked you up and you'd be the guy. But so again, have another hand for this guy.
Thank you, sir. You want to address the crowd here? Yeah. Yeah, okay, yes, have a few words for us.
First, I would like to thank everyone here for having me, and it's an honor to be here. In the beginning, I didn't think it's going to get this big, really. I thought it's just going to be a simple operations first. When the mission was accomplished, I get out from the base camp, and I just know that this story are getting attention from people around the world. My wife letting me know that a lot of people here try to interview her for what I did in Thailand, and really, I mean, the whole mission is just a miracle. We were not expecting the kid to be out 100% alive. We were expecting a 70% chance of success when we start doing the dive rescue. So. I think it's just not just me, I'm not a hero, but many people behind the scene as well. We got thousands of people working on the scene. Those people are the hero in this, and I just happen to be like you said, at the right place at the right time. Really, this mission, it is multinational effort, not just people from Thailand, but people from all over the world as well. Without each other, we could not accomplish this thing. So I'm glad to be here, and it's my honor to be here with my family, and thank you all very much.
Thank you. Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
Were you over there, or when that happened, did you leave here and then go there? What made you go there?
I was already in Thailand about a month and a half, helping out with the government project in Thailand. We have this project that helping out the locals when they don't have enough waters on the summer seasons. So my job was to supervise and get all the engineers together and working with the local to provide them with enough water on the summer seasons. I think the military called me on June 28th. I think they heard my reputation from the government and also the local administrations. So they decided to call me and then have me go take a look at the situation in the cave.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Mayor, can I say this, that when we convened back in the House of Representatives in Springfield, actually we'll be in veto session in November, and we would love to invite you and your wife to come up and introduce you to the whole House floor and to, again, to recognize again what you've done. And I think that just a few moments I've spent with you, I realize what a humble person you are, but we are not trying to brag whatever, but we appreciate what you've done and the abilities that you have and the passion that you have for what you've done. We appreciate that, and we just want to recognize you for that. So,
Thank you so much.
thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, do we have any other visitors? Would anybody like to address the council before we start? Nobody? None of you on the front row there? The front row, Becky, that'd be you. Okay, all right.
No, I'll get to you later.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Okay, item number 1, Sewer Department. Commissioner Hightower?
Just a payment to the IEPA is a thing they do annually for the amount of $17,500, just the annual fee. July 1st, 2018 to June 30th.
Okay.
What, actually, there's something.
Shouldn't it be 219?
Yeah, it should be 219,
Yes.
June 30th.
That'd been a short payment, wouldn't it? Yeah. Okay, is that your motion?
Yeah.
We need a second?
Second.
Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower.
Yay.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
Yay.
Mayor Manella.
Yay. Chief? Go ahead.
We received approval a month or so ago to hire 2 part-time dispatchers. So we now have the names of Hunter Barrett and Dylan Richardson to fill those spots.
I'd make a motion to hire Hunter Barrett and Dylan Richardson in dispatch.
At the pay rate of $20.66 per hour.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the floor? Hearing none, call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower.
Yay.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Gauss.
Yay.
Mayor Vanella.
Yay.
And also, we had received council approval to replace Tom Stearns, who went to the high school this week as a school resource officer. So we have on the agenda to replace Officer Stearns with Charles Welge.
Okay. And anything you want to indulge us
I
with
don't know if you
on
have
this
the-
officer?
He's a Saline County deputy. He's been in Saline County approximately 4 years, I think it is. One of our other officers we hired from Saline County, Steve Salone, spoke very highly of him. He's actually come and ridden with Steve a couple times. Several of our officers have met him. He's an extremely proactive officer, so he'll be a good asset.
I was able to sit in on the interviews. I was very impressed with him, both these individuals that we're about to vote on. So.
All right, thank you. Was that your motion?
Yes, I'll make that a motion to hire Chuck Welshman as patrol officer.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower.
Yay.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Gauss.
Yay.
Mayor Vanella.
Yay. And this next one will be contingent upon the resignation
Yeah.
of this officer.
Yeah, that's Jared Gott, he's an El Dorado patrol officer right now, but, yeah, he would be our next patrol officer when Logan Spinka resigns.
Okay.
When is that date?
We don't have the date yet. He hasn't provided us with the date. It'll be soon.
And he's going to work for IDNR?
Yes, IDNR.
Okay.
So I'd make a motion to hire Jared Gott as patrol officer, contingent upon the resignation of Logan Spinka.
Yep.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower.
Yay.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Gauss.
Yes.
Mayor Vanella.
Yay.
Item 4, there's some corrections that need to be made to the merit regs. The first one you'll see in your packet under item A, add some wording there, and that's according to some new state statute. And by the way, this has been, Rhett Barkey has reviewed it and agreed with it. In fact, this is his wording sent back to us. So, and the second one you'll see down towards the bottom, item D, there's some wording change there where they can basically get preference points. And let me back up. Both these are to deal with the preference points. The first one is the veterans preference points, and the second one is experience preference points. But that adds some language in there to, and that's according to the union contract on the second one. So.
Now let me ask you this, and if I understand this right, the veterans preference points does not apply to the Illinois National Guard, right? Unless they have been actively called up and spend a certain period of time.
I believe you're correct.
Is that
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
Well, unless they got deployed for at least 1 year, though.
Yeah, yeah,
And were honorably
But-
discharged.
yeah. They have to, Illinois National Guard doesn't, you have to be called up for a year and deployed for a year
Yeah.
before you're allowed to get preference
Right.
points.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that, but we've had that come up in the past, and that's just the rules. So,
No, they go on a point system, or is it a discretionary thing where it's top 3 out of the top scores? Or what?
Fire's pretty much a point system.
So points.
I mean, the only thing discretionary, I guess, would be the interview process, but there's points given for the interviews. But the physical part is a point scored, and then they take a written test that's a point scored as well. But with that, I'd make a motion to adopt these corrections to the police fire merit regs.
we have a motion,
I'll second.
and second, any other further discussion? Hearing none, call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower.
Yay.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
Yay.
Mayor Vanella.
Yay. Okay, number 5.
I'd ask council approval to purchase and payment of 85 adjusting ring that goes over the manhole risers for the 2018 HMA overlay program. This comes out of MFT funds, an amount of $8,500. That's my motion.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower.
Yay.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
Yay.
Mayor Vanella.
Yay. Number 6, Hub Recreation. Chris?
Mayor, council, good evening. I've got, for Hub Recreation Center, I'm requesting council approval for part-time employees, including J.C. Crane for group fitness instructor at $15 an hour, and Emily Stroud, swim coach at $20 an hour. There's a correction there. I've got an error there. $20 an hour, and swim instructor at $20 an hour.
Okay,
I'll make that my motion as just stated.
I'll second it.
got a motion and a second. Call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower.
Yay.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
Yay.
Mayor Ranella.
Yay. Number 7.
Number 7, requesting council approval for additional job classifications, including Jacob Schmidt, flag football staff, $9 an hour, tackle football staff at $9 an hour, currently within the sports and rec department, as well as camp counselor. Next one is Sarah Knowles, silver sneakers instructor at $18 an hour. Brian Waldrop, group exercise instructor at $15 an hour, swim coach at $20 an hour, and basketball instructor at $15 an hour. Next is Alex Weinhold within aquatics for a promotion for a position of lead lifeguard at $12 an hour, and also in aquatics, or currently in aquatics, Hayden Gunther for silver sneakers instructor at $18 an hour within fitness.
I'll make a motion to approve these additional job classifications as stated. I'll second that.
Got a motion and a second. And no further discussion, call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower.
Yay.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
Yay.
Mayor Ranella.
Yay. Number 8.
Mayor, we would like to table this. Chris came back from vacation, his first vacation in 4 years since he's been there, and we haven't had time to meet with Rep. Barkey, who wants to discuss this further before we present it to council. So we hope to have this done in the next meeting.
So will it be part of our packet before we vote on it? Because we have a blank sheet today.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he wasn't ready.
Okay, yeah, I'll just,
Yeah, it would be part of your packet.
okay.
Yeah, I guess what he's asking is, what I'm asking is that we see that job description as part of our packet.
Yes, you would see it. As soon as we had it all approved, we'd be ready.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Also, I'd like to report, we had a great football day, youth tackle football on Saturday. Yes. First home game, we've got 2 more home games, so we've got 3 home games, 3 away games. We played Mount Zion, and we had split result relative to score. All the teams did wonderfully. We had, of course, the coaches, they're so dedicated, so committed to their players, to the families, and we had a big group of staff, we had a big group of volunteers, and they did a wonderful job. We had our 5th and 6th grade, which have low numbers, and Mount Zion actually have high numbers, great depth in their 5th and 6th grade team, and they did win those 2 games, the 5th and 6th grade. And then the 7th and 8th, with our numbers and our depth of a team, 8th grade, 38 players, and 7th grade, I believe 34 players, we beat Mount Zion in those 2 games, 7th and 8th. But very hot day. It went long because of the heat, and the refs did a great job in terms of keeping everybody safe, and just had a wonderful first home game.
Yep.
So we've got 2 more of those, Taylorville and Mattoon coming up, and on September 1st and September 8th, and looking forward to having another couple great home games. And we've got the blue and gold game scrimmage on Friday, and then an away game on Saturday, this coming Saturday.
Okay, how did we do at the Jamboree?
Jamboree, it was a good showing. We had, it was, don't have the report on that, but we were there and we did a good job. Players did a good job.
Did one of did the 7th or 8th grade team go undefeated? That's what I heard.
7th and 8th.
One of those teams, or are they combined? Or they're separate teams?
7th and 8th, our 7th and 8th are separate teams.
Okay.
Yep.
I just heard one of them
Yep.
went undefeated in the Jamboree, which,
Okay.
that's a pretty good
Yep.
accomplishment. That's some pretty good competition up there.
Are there new rules this year outlining like concussion standards, et cetera?
They're they're consistent with previous seasons, but we do have that concussion protocol. Yeah,
They should be consistent with IHSA.
yeah, they are. That is correct. That is correct. And we've used that in past years, and that's currently being followed. We had one opposing team member, a hard hit, was evaluated on the field, and we had one player within our teams also a hard hit on Saturday, and following the protocol relative to safety.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Code is not here. On number 9, the only thing we're doing is asking the council approval to demolish a much-needed property at 907 East Beach.
Yeah, I'd make that motion.
Got a motion?
Second.
Got a second? Motion second. Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Patton?
Yay.
Commissioner Goss?
Yay.
Mayor Vanella?
Yay. Okay. Number 10,
This is just council approval. One of our part-time library assistants, Alexis Wagner, has resigned to take another opportunity, and the library will be filling that position probably by the next council meeting.
okay.
So
thank
just
you.
approving your resignation.
Do we have a motion to that
Make
effect?
that motion.
Got a motion?
Second.
Got a second? Call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower?
Yay.
Commissioner Patton?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Goss?
Yay.
Mayor Vanella?
Yay. Okay, number 11 is, this is an annual,
And I believe Terrence handed out to the commissioners and the mayor an item just explaining item 11 on the agenda.
yep.
This is to purchase aerial maps in cooperation with Williamson County. We do this on a regular basis. We did budget for it this year in the public affairs budget. Originally, they were going to be $10,000, and Terrence negotiated them down $1,000 to $9,000.
He's pretty good at that.
He does note that it's one more step of how the city of Marion and the county are working together on our GIS maps, and that Jeff Robinson and Alex Simpson are thanked for their help, that they work with Terrence on those things. So this would just need council approval so we could go with the county on their contract.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower?
Yay.
Commissioner Patton?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Goss?
Yay.
Mayor Vanella?
Yay. Okay, number 12 is something we do annually. It's by ordinance project labor agreement with the Egyptian Building and Trades Council. And this is for any projects in the city over $100,000. Like I said, we do this on an annual basis, and these workers will abide by the Department of Labor Prevailing Wage Act, and that's basically it. It's like I said, it's an annual deal, so like no different than we just, I think,
Yeah.
last meeting or meeting before, we approved the Prevailing Wage Act like we normally do, so this is in conjunction with that.
Right.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 3459.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower?
Yay.
Commissioner Patton?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Goss?
Yay.
Mayor Vanella?
Yay. Steve, is there an issue with 13 and 14? We can do one, but can't do the other?
Yeah, 13, 14, you need to table.
Table?
The-
Okay.
The actual document signed by
Okay. She hadn't signed them? Okay,
you. That's my understanding.
okay.
Wait a minute, what was it again now on net annexation?
She has not signed the,
She hasn't signed the petition.
She has.
She did not sign on the rezoning.
Okay, she signed on the annexation though.
Yes.
Okay,
do we have that?
she had not.
She has signed on the annexation, yes.
So we can move on 13 and not 14?
Well,
Is
no,
that-
wait a minute, the petition for annexation already this, that we were going to take it in as our own?
Yes.
Yes,
If she signed the petition, then it's included on both. You
I gave it
can-
to Alice to prepare an
Yeah,
ordinance.
we have her signature here on the,
Then you can do both.
On the
If it's
annexation.
On the petition, you can do both.
Yeah, she signed it.
I'd make a motion to approve 3460 and 3463.
We're gonna do an omnibus then? I mean, just both of them at the same time, is that?
Yeah, I think no, do them separate.
So I'd make a motion to approve ordinance 3460.
Got a motion to approve
Second.
ordinance 3460 and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower?
Yay.
Commissioner Patton?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Goss?
Yay.
Mayor Vanella?
Yay.
And also make a motion to approve ordinance 3463.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower?
Yay.
Commissioner Patton?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Goss?
Yay.
Mayor Vanella?
Yay. And this is why they don't teach cursor in schools anymore.
Yeah. Like EKG.
Okay, number 15, ordinance vacating the part of South Buchanan Street which lies between blocks 12 and 13. Actually, that is nothing but a grass field that stops at Texas Avenue. If any of you have been down there, the owners or the same owners are on both sides, and they're asking that it be vacated, and we've did that. We did that to one of their adjacent neighbors too, so
Yeah.
and the 12-inch water main goes down Buchanan to Texas over to South Market and then to South Market. Is that
Then it goes down to
Mike Reel's house?
Mike Grew's house, about 600 feet this side of the Golf Course Road.
Yep, okay.
I make a motion to adopt ordinance 3461.
Got a
Second.
motion and second. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower?
Yay.
Commissioner Patton?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Goss?
Yay.
Mayor Vanella?
Yay. Okay, number 16, ordinance vacating North Hill Division subdivision, Gary McGee and Michael and Debbie Winkler. As you all know, this is the one that we had issues with. He's in a process of selling this, but I understand that the new owners want to vacate it and have it all as one piece of property. Is that right? Yeah. And if it gets vacated before the sale, then he's within his right to do that, right?
All the owners have to agree. If he's the owner and the only one, yes, that's true. If the owners have agreed, he's already sold it. Because when you and I discussed it, I wasn't clear as to whether he sold part of it already or is going to sell other parts. But I looked at the paperwork tonight, and he's got the Winklers signing it. So if that's 100% of the owners, then yes, we have no discretion, we have to grant it.
Okay. Okay, guys, you
There's
heard.
only one issue as we go into that thing, Steve. I understood the stipulation that if he sold the house, he had to build a street.
That's my understanding.
Well, he sold the house.
Well, he had the house there, I think it was his house. And my understanding was if he sold any other properties for the building, before he could get a building permit, he had to put in that cul-de-sac. I'm not sure what happened after that. He sold, or maybe he didn't sell, a part of this property to the Winklers. I think I was told he owned 100% of the property. And I think
He did.
the mayor had indicated to me he thought that the Winklers had owned at least part of it, or he sold it.
No, he was selling it to them.
Yeah. So if the Winklers are in agreement and they are owners, yeah, we have no choice but to do it. Now, one of the things that I said we can do is our ordinance, if we do this and vacate it, and then they try to subdivide that, they're going to have to put in that cul-de-sac. So that's in the ordinance.
So did the Winklers own Lot 1, 2, and 3?
My understanding is they do not. They
Two.
might own where the house is.
I don't think it's been closed yet.
Yeah, and they're buying the other pieces of the property that make up the subdivision.
Yeah. And
Lots 1 and 3.
yeah, and if you look at number 4, it alludes to just exactly what Steve said, that if in fact in the future they decide to subdivide it, then they're going to have to abide by city ordinance. Which then would make them have to build the road to city standards of 24 feet and put in the cul-de-sac with curb and gutter.
I hope they understand that as part of the sale.
Well, I do too, but that's on Mr. McGee, is that not right? To be, Counselor, is that not right? That's on Mr. McGee to be forthright in what will occur in the future, their obligations.
If you own the property in the future,
I know.
it'll be the Winklers.
Yeah, I understand that, but John's concern is that he hasn't been forthright with all the information that may be necessary, and that, you know, I think by signing this, they should have understood it.
Right.
If they decide to subdivide it in the future, they're gonna have to put in a 24-foot road and a cul-de-sac with curb and gutter.
I know Mike, I can get a hold of him and make sure.
Pardon me?
I know Mike, and I can contact him.
Well, they signed this.
I understand.
Yeah.
But if you're questioning as to whether he knew what he was signing, I don't have a problem following up,
Yeah.
make sure he understood.
Has Glenn, you or Brian checked the description on this at all? Have you all looked at it? I think we need to review that as well.
The county's showing Winklers own the big parcel back there, but there's a little strip back heading to the west that's still supposed to be, I don't know what that's.
What about 200 lots? Here's the map.
Lot 1, 3, they don't show, they show lots 1, 2, and 3 there.
On one.
He has 3 lots back there.
Yeah.
My understanding, that he sold the house first, and then part of the condition of buying the house was that if he had one property, 1 and 3, to go with it, or he wouldn't buy the house. But then he didn't, he wanted it back to the 5 acre tract for no lots or anything else on it.
Yeah.
I think the Winkler wants it all.
They wanted it all, that's correct.
I just want to make sure they're aware that the street has, what they understood what this says.
Well, the ordinance would dictate on that. If he wanted to do anything, he's got to put his cul-de-sac in.
Otherwise, we'll have another issue like on Falsey Road.
Exactly right. You got Forest Court looking at us again if we don't have it clear.
Well, I think number 4 makes it pretty clear. If any portion of the above described real estate should be subdivided at any time in the future, it would be subject to the rules regarding paving of the road and cul-de-sac and any other city requirements. I think that's, yeah, pretty clear, concise.
And to expedite that, you can give the Winkler a copy of that ordinance.
Lynn, do you have a copy of that plat right there handy? Take a look at that real quick, if you don't mind. It says commencing at an iron pin found at the northwest corner of Lot 1 of the 2-acre subdivision recorded in the deed or book and page. Then we go north 0 degrees 46 minutes 18 seconds east along the east right-of-way line of Francis Drive. That doesn't make sense to me.
The northwest corner of Lot 1, which would be up there. If you inch north, to the east or on the east side of the line. That's not right. He doesn't begin the northwest corner of Lot 1 until Francis Drive is removed from that. That's not right.
Exactly. I think we need to hold off on that until we get that ironed out.
Does that mean the original plat that was submitted to the city that we accepted is wrong as well?
I'm not sure. I haven't seen that one.
Yes, it's part of this that was submitted with this.
Oh, it is?
This is the original here. There's the recording seal.
Yeah, the same description on the original plat. Looks to me like it's the same description on this. Looks like it to me.
Two lot ones, can you see that? There's a new lot 1 and another lot 1.
In that case, it's correct.
Two Lot 1. He's going,
I didn't know Lot 1, I didn't know there was 2 Lot 1s.
Start lot 1 of that other subdivision.
Yeah.
2-acre subdivision.
So he's going 50 foot along that east line
Yeah, it says that.
as your point of beginning, and then we go around. Yeah,
Yeah, it says 50 feet there too, Doug.
okay.
50.00.
I was taking the wrong line. I didn't know there was 2 Lot 1 there.
I did too, Glenn.
See that where it says point of beginning, 50.00?
That 2-acre subdivision, one of the deals where the county won't accept it unless it's subdivision, it's one lot subdivision you have to do to make the county happy.
Okay.
Who's holding that property?
Phil still owns that. Phil's got the Lot 2-acre subdivision.
And the $1,000,000 question. Is it right or is it wrong? And can we approve this?
Yeah.
Yeah. So are we good to go on this?
Yes.
Okay.
We got 2 nodders, an engineer and city attorney. Is there a motion on this?
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 3462.
Got a motion on the floor. Is there a second to the motion?
Oh, second.
Okay, got a second? Got a motion second, any discussion?
I made mine.
Hearing no further discussion, call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower.
Yay.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
No.
Mayor Vanella.
Yay. Okay, number 17 is a renewal of our master service agreement with Clearwave Communications.
We are,
For your agreement.
I'd like to table this. We have all of our buildings, and we agree with everything, except we're trying to work with Clearwave to get a dedicated line to the sewer plant, and because of their high technology needs, right now they share a fiber line with street and animal control. So we're still working on that, so I'd like to hold that until we can continue our negotiations with them. That's why there's no agreement attached to your
I thought
packet.
Futiva was going to do that.
Well, we're negotiating with both.
Okay, all right. Is it okay with you? Yeah. All right, table 17, 18, downtown restoration loan.
Yes, the Restoration Loan Committee has approved this application. We ask council approval of a downtown restoration loan to Kevin Tondini for the purpose of signage for the new Tire Square Pizza Restaurant located 100 Tire Square Plaza. That's the old City Hall building. The amount of $10,000 with repayment of one-half of the funds amortized monthly over 5 years with interest rate of 3% per annum. That's my motion.
I'd like to bring the council, if we could ask if Johnny would amend it to say pending deed for property, because Tondini's, we're waiting on the easement and the deed for the property to go to Tondini.
Well said. I'll add that to my motion.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'll second that
Got an
motion.
amendment to the motion?
I'll
Got a
second.
motion and a second. Hearing no discussion, call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower?
Yay.
Commissioner Patton?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Goss?
Yay.
Mayor Vanella?
Yay. Okay, 19, discussion approval of real estate purchase. It was brought to my attention by a local realtor that the owner of the Palikai was wanting to sell this building. Actually, the building has been for sale some time, and that she had reduced her price, and I told her I would bring that before the council. And in a subsequent meeting, I talked about developing a downtown revitalization committee for the city, and talking to members that I approached about this committee, they all said one thing: we need more parking. This lot or this parcel of land become available, and I told her I would bring it before the council. Now, in saying that, the owner, unbeknown to me, and why she did it I do not know.
Right.
She give the, I just call her Miss B, a 30-day notice to vacate, which has become a subject of ear to some people. I called the realtor today and asked her why she did that, because if the city buys that building, it's up to the city to tell B if and when she has to vacate the building. And if we buy that building, if we bought the building and tore it down, we're only going to gain about 4 parking places. So there's no need to tear it down right now. In the grand scheme of things, we would like to buy all the parcels in that area. We're also looking at one on East Main, and that's in the works too. But I think she jumped the gun, and she made something out of nothing. And I believe it's up, if we choose to accept that offer, I believe it's up to the city that to decide, when we need her to vacate that building.
Oh, no question about that.
It may be a year from now, it may be 2 years from now. And speculation is that she had wanted to retire, but,
Definitely not the case.
definitely not the case. She is not wanting to, and until we get all parcels in hand, which may take a while, there is no need for that poor woman to worry about being out of a job.
Is that TIF funds?
That will be TIF funds that we buy that from.
in the near term, what will be our reason for buying it if we're not going to, I mean, not that I'm advocating for a parking lot, but I don't want to get in the restaurant business either, do I?
No,
Make
we're
sure
not,
that-
no, we're not gonna get in the restaurant business either, but I think, we gotta start somewhere, and this has become available, and I don't want somebody, and I don't think any of us want somebody to jump in there and buy it, then all of a sudden, that piece of property we can buy for $35,000, all of a sudden becomes $135,000 because the municipality wants to buy it for a particular reason in the future. And that's exactly
Is that 30 or 35?
35.
Sitting here wondering, if the city bought it today, let's just say, and made a decision to allow her to continue to operate, I'm curious about the insurance on all that, how that would be taken care of. If Steve Green goes in there and slips and falls, I mean, it's municipal property, but it may be, there's an insurance issue that would have to be taken care of. That would be one of my concerns.
Well, I rent property off of the Park District for my Goofy Golf, and I am required by the Park District to provide insurance.
Correct.
That is.
That would be something.
Yes.
We would need to be an additional named insured, which
Yep.
is what I'm sure your policies.
Yes.
What's the rental income on it now?
Not sure. Does anybody know if she was given the opportunity to buy it for that amount? I mean, because they probably would be amenable to that if they were offered the opportunity to buy it.
I believe the owner had offered it to her first.
Probably at a much higher price, though.
I mean, the owner had come in at City Hall maybe a year ago or so when she was talking about selling it. And at that time, I understand she had already offered it. So but I don't know what price it is.
Right, yeah. It probably wasn't 35. In fact, I'm almost 100% sure on that, because they probably would have taken that deal.
I think there's a lot of other things that we need to consider before we travel down that road as well, because when the city becomes a landlord, we have responsibilities as well for upkeep, kitchen equipment, whatever. Now, you can structure the lease agreement however you like, but it has to be respectful to both sides. And I don't think we've done near enough homework at this point to say, yeah, let's buy it and us become tenants.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of dynamics.
Or us become landlords,
that are available, but it's a less than ideal relationship between a current owner and a current occupant right now, and I don't know if we should get involved in a urinary Olympics, let's just say. So
does Miss B, does she own it, or?
Would you mind explaining that last comment?
I'm trying to be.
I'm no replying, I don't understand.
I don't know if he's.
I'm with Anthony, though. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know.
be given bad information in the first place.
Yeah, so I don't know if is that a triathlon or decathlon event? I don't know. Yeah.
So,
Okay, I agree.
Is B own it, or?
No, she's a renter.
Okay.
Okay. I think the best thing we can do here tonight is table this. We need to get the city attorney to look into the particulars of a lease agreement. We don't want to be in the restaurant business. We don't want to be responsible for maintenance of the building or anything such of that nature. But here's the other thing everybody needs to know. And I don't know how this happened. This happened 100 years ago. Probably only the mayor knows about it. And but the only piece of property that building is on is theirs. I mean, the parking lot is ours.
Yeah.
I mean, it is.
That's all they got.
And the mayor agreed many, many years ago that all the parking spaces, I think there's 6, right up against the building, she could have. And then we had the issue with the city cars parking across those 6 or so there. And that's when I put out the memo that they could no longer park there and become real popular with the city employees that park there. But, that's neither here nor there. So, anyway, that building is, the only thing that they own is that part that the building is on. So,
They got, I think,
but,
yeah.
but some good issues there, and that's things that we need to work out.
Of course, on the same time,
I would, I agree with you. We need to see if and that doesn't mean that, the owner has a right to or not to sell that building to.
we have a
to
right
that
not to buy it.
I'm with you, Anthony, when down the road, and I understand I wouldn't get in the restaurant business either.
No.
If we buy it, we just say we bought it and they're out, but that if we can buy that Daily Republican building,
Yeah.
then it makes it feasible to talk about parking lot, but
Right.
4 spaces is not
Right.
going to help us.
Well, I think, some of the talk that we had there is hopefully to buy all 3 parcels. And at some time in the future, think about putting a parking garage there.
Yep.
Lady in the purple shirt in the back?
As a restaurant, you're not going into the restaurant business, you're just owning the building, because I know Town and Country has a restaurant, had a restaurant, and they just maintained the building, they did not own the equipment. The people that ran the restaurant were responsible for everything inside, we were just responsible for the building. So you're not really going into the restaurant building, you're going into the real estate.
But there's a difference in the public and private sector too, so, and how the perception is. We don't want to,
I just know that.
it was, my thought was, if we have a chance to purchase this at a relatively low price for the future, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not talking about a year, I don't know if it's 2 years, but, secure that property and allow her to stay in her function of running that restaurant. So.
Do you know about how big that lot is, Anthony?
I'm not sure
As
about
big
that
as,
big.
big as the building. It's probably 20 by 40.
Used to be a pancake house. Waylon Sims had a restaurant there at one time.
Wow, how long ago was that?
Cooksey, well,
Way long.
Cooksey's had it.
Cooksey had it, Lee and Cooksey had it, Waylon had it.
Yeah.
And they had a
I think
pancake
the name of it
house.
was Lillian's, wasn't it? I mean, we'll have to go back to the archives.
Well, I remember it.
Oh. So, what was it?
The archives, you're looking at it.
Yes.
They had good pancakes too, didn't they?
Did you cook them?
Except they didn't clean the syrup.
Oh,
They didn't clean the syrup off the tables well, but other than that, they was good pancakes. Yeah.
So we're all in agreement to table this until we get for more information. That's a good deal.
Plus, say they had to give her more than 30 days anyway. I mean, I don't think a judge signed off on that. That was.
No, she don't. Well, it's not the first time she's did that and queried a deal on selling a piece of her property. Okay, number 20. Council discussion approval of $5,000 donation to Marion Main Street to help fund their annual Hub Fest, scheduled for September 22nd on the square in downtown Marion.
And this was budgeted under programs in our budget.
Public Affairs.
Yes.
Gee whiz.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very
Appreciate
much. Yeah. And talking to these guys, and this is going to be bigger and better than ever, and, several bands coming up here, and here again, anytime we can bring people to the downtown area, we need to do that. And Hub Fest is just one time a year, and, why not something in the spring? To start off the spring and summer season, so.
There was somebody talking about even a New Year's Eve type bash, which.
Yeah.
There's some logistics involved that we would have to consider, but.
There will be a lot of logistics, weather, tarps, police, so, yeah. Anyway, all right, guys, what's your pleasure here?
I make a motion, we donate to 5.
Got a motion?
Yes.
I'll second.
We got a second? Any further discussion? Hearing none, call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower.
Yay.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
Yay.
Mayor Renala.
Yes. Okay. As you probably know,
Do you have a contract for that?
no, it's not right. They've asked what they've, yes, we do. On number 21, the liquid tube had come to the council. Actually, it was in January of 2017. And they were interested in a parcel of property. We made that parcel available to them, and they agreed to it. They bought 11 acres for
7.8 acres.
yeah, for $16,000. And as part of that contract, they were to have had a building built within 1 year. Well, they couldn't get it done, and they've now asked for an extension on the extension. So what I told them pending council approval, that, you know, we have no anybody jumping right out there to buy this particular piece of real estate at that time. So what I told them we could probably do is, and what they asked was, is that the city allow the contract to stay void or to stay in effect until June 1st of 2019. The city has the right to sell that land to a new owner before June 1st of 2019. I told them, I said, probably don't have a problem with that, except that, you know, come June 1st, 2019, if you don't have a contract in hand by a builder to build that building in the preceding months, we're done. So that's where we're at with these individuals. Now, you know, that's entirely up to you. They understand that they're past their time. They do have some monies obligated to this land and surveying and stuff like that. They didn't ask for the money back, but I told them that there would be no refund on the $16,000, and the reason there was, in part, we use that money to run a sewer line up to a business. Is that Precision Equipment, Gail, that's actually just signed their enterprise papers? And
Machine and tool.
yes, and they are getting ready to proceed. Plus, that same sewer line will then also be used for business development on the north side of the road there too.
Yeah, veterinary.
Yeah, Dr. Smith's veterinary clinic. Dr. Smith?
Yes.
Yes, veterinary clinic, and he's also in the future got some plans for development out there, other commercial development. So it's entirely up to you. We can tell them that we've decided to live by the contract and they're past their contract, or in the event that nobody steps up to buy that particular piece of property, that to allow them to build. But yeah, they understood me very well that June 1st of 2019 was the drop dead date, one way or the other.
If somebody comes in the interim period, says we're ready to roll, we've got the money, we buy the land, would that be available for sale? Would they
Yep.
have to wait for-
Yes, and they understood that. They said, and that's one of the things they said, that if the city finds a new owner for the property, they can only thank the city for the opportunity they give them.
We really had
I
nothing.
think, doesn't the attorney need to draw that up, with language like that, Steve?
I think so.
And, because actually the contract is not a contract, we can sell it if we want to, and we'll give them a right to renew it in June if they want to.
Yeah, actually, if that contract expired
Yeah,
in January of this year.
yeah, we can let them renew it.
So if I understand,
They don't have a deed for that property yet then?
No.
Yes, they do.
they do have a deed.
Yes,
That-
they do
that-
have the deed.
So the deed would have to be reverted back to us and then,
Yes, but we have a reverter clause in the agreement.
okay.
So there's a reverter clause in the agreement that we signed after we sold the property, saying that they had to build by a certain date, and they have not met that date.
That's right.
It's just a matter of us asking for the deed back. And
Yeah.
I think what you told them is satisfactory, Anthony.
Yeah, I mean,
Nothing wrong
this,
with
yeah,
it.
pending
Yeah.
contract
Yeah,
arrangements written up by,
Don't have anything to lose.
no, can't.
well, unless we find another buyer.
works for me.
Yeah,
Get an option to pick
And then-
up on
and then-
June 9th.
they're just out $16,000.
Yeah.
And the new buyer would have sewer and water service available immediately.
Wouldn't it potentially be cleaner to go ahead and have them reconvey the property to us? Simply have an agreement with them that in the event that they come up with a financing and a plan by that date, and we haven't sold it to someone else, then they could do that. Wouldn't that be
Yeah.
easier?
That's why we got you as our city attorney.
Because I can foresee if we don't do it, we have a buyer, and then all of a sudden, we have to take them to court because they're, for whatever reason.
Right.
I can,
How
Yep.
that can delay things.
I can vote on that. I cannot vote on the way.
It would be my
We've got it structured.
recommendation that we make them give us the deed back.
Yeah.
We enter into a new agreement that simply says they have up until June 1st,
No, what-
whatever date you want to
Let's take no action on this tonight then.
Right.
Okay, let me draw
Okay.
something up and get it to you.
Draw it up for
Yep,
next
sounds
meeting.
good, yep.
I'll have Steve.
Gee, looks like I'm spending more money. Okay. Council approval of building improvement construction estimates for City Hall entrance. Actually, what we do, we have an issue up there. We have a leak, and we need to get it addressed in some pretty short fashion. Got water running down on the inside of the city hall, and so we have.
And there, in your packet, there is a, on item 22, there is a, we'd asked Doug Peebles, who's done quite a bit of construction on the, on City Hall, especially when we had our flood several years ago. He actually helped reconstruct City Hall. Part of the discussion about fixing a leak was also to, we have quite a bit of windows as one enters, and it's been highly recommended by many people who are standing outside those windows that we add soundproofing because of the council meeting flows into the hallway. And so we asked for, looking for something to help improve soundproofing, and we would take out the windows on the right side of this room and put wallboard and a brick or stone facade that would actually be also bullet resistant if needed. And it would be 9 feet high, so it would take that one, and we would straighten out that wall a little bit to make it not so jagged, so it would increase a little bit of the council chamber. And then on the opposing side of the hall, of the lobby, we would do something similar with stone, and Doug will go into that, in the water department. But since it's in the lobby, the TIF, we would ask for TIF to pay for the stonework on the lobby side, and then the water department has some additional things they were going to ask for. So this was something we had put into our previous budget to try to improve part of this room for this past year, or this past budget year. We had looked at it for this year.
Yep. Okay.
And that's at a cost of,
$9,980 was the estimate.
that's on this side only.
Yeah, that's on this side. And then the stonework on the other side, and it goes up
Same height.
same height?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you walk in the lobby, it would be, look the same on both sides of the hall.
One says they're 9 feet tall, one says it's 4 feet tall. Unless I'm reading it wrong.
Oh, on the left side, entrance by the water department, same as above, and it says 4 feet tall.
Okay.
It says extend walls 90 degrees off of hallway. Is that what you're saying, Johnny?
Yeah, the next line, it says, the upper's 4 feet up.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
4 feet stone, and then we're going to reuse the windows above
That's out of your
that.
budget,
Yeah, I think.
not out of motor fuel taxes.
Not out of motor fuel tax, yeah.
The stone would be city hall budget, and the rest of it would be water and motor fuel, or
Yeah.
whichever you decide
Not
on.
out of motor fuel tax.
No, I'm sorry. But whatever you guys decide.
Okay. All right, what's your pleasure on,
How long does it take for this project? Just say, I don't know, you may have said.
I'm going to say,
so you're gonna try to do it on nights and weekends?
Yes,
Yeah.
that was the agreement, it would be after city, it'd be,
after 5 o'clock,
yes, and every day, I mean, he'd work more on a weekend,
right.
and then he wouldn't work during the day whilst the city hall was.
Yeah,
We
I
did,
would prefer him taking that glass out when nobody is around.
Definitely.
Okay.
item 22, I'll make that motion to approve the People's bid of $9,980 for the main entrance corridor.
Second.
Got a motion, second. Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower,
Yay.
Commissioner Patton,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Goss,
Yay.
Mayor Manella.
Yay.
Going to go on to 24
Yep.
while we're there.
That's $22,000. That's pretty good remodel job.
21,860, yeah. Basically, what we're going to do over there is pretty much revamp the countertop area where people come in and serve. We've had some issues with handicap accessibility. We've had some issues with people getting too close to the workstations, if you will, to see private information. So we're trying to remodel in such a way where we take care of all those, address all of those issues.
Hostile environment.
Yeah, we basically are going to do basically the same thing over here as we're doing on the council chamber side. 4 feet brick wall or stone wall, 4 feet up. We're going to reconfigure the windows where they make several jogs, and we're going to 90-degree that off to make room for another workstation. New cabinetry, which the cabinetry that's over there is falling apart now. Electrical. This price, of course, does not include electrical, but basically reworking the water office. We did not want to move across the hall and we wanted to maintain the business environment day to day. So again, Doug has agreed to come in and do it after hours and get everything cleaned up so we can hit the road running the next morning. So
Is electrical going to be done before this?
it'll have to be in conjunction with it, yeah. But I don't think we've got that price yet, have we? Yeah. But we budgeted for this.
Yeah. And the reason we're redoing electrical, being former water commissioner, is we have ghost in our electrical wiring. It just goes off from time to time for no apparent reason, just the electricity goes off.
Kind of had a system crash the other day, so
Yes.
we were lucky to retrieve, and luckily Terrence had backed up the night before, so we did not lose any information.
Not sure.
Did we lose the server or just crashed?
It crashed, and I think they got it back up and running again, though.
Yeah. It took him all weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, guys, what's your pleasure on number 24?
My motion to approve item number 24, $21,860 for water office work.
And that will be split equally between water and sewers, or is sewer going to pick up the whole tab?
Sewer's going to pick up the whole tab.
Good. Since they don't pay a water bill, that
Hey, it's all
feels good to
same
me.
fund.
That's right. All right, got a motion?
Second.
Second, got a motion and a second. Hearing no further discussion, call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower.
Yay.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
Yay.
Mayor Vanella.
Yay. Okay, item 23, council approval of payment declared to Ziegler Engineering, $5,000 to update the city zoning map.
Sounds a little high, but I'll make the motion to pay it.
Yes, and this would be an update. They have done our zoning map, but we need to, have several years we need to catch up on.
Yeah, we need it updated.
So,
I'll second. Got a motion and a second. Hearing no further discussion, call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower.
Yay.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
Yay.
Mayor Vanella.
Yay. Okay, number 25.
in previous meeting, we had accepted the resignation of Dustin Myers, who was the tech design, worked in lighting design with the Civic Center. In looking at a new employee, a new potential employee, Josh and Vince worked, the assistant director worked on putting together a lighting designer job description, and this is, that's before the council. With many of the features we have with the Civic Center calls for more and more sophisticated light design. And in looking at potential hires, one of them was to find someone who could meet such sophisticated light designs. So the job description was rewritten for that reason, and with that, in conjunction with that, the recommendation from the Civic Center Board, which is meeting tonight, would be to hire Emmanuel Castillo and Fernando Emmanuel Castillo as a full-time lighting designer to replace Dustin Myers with an increased pay rate of $15 an hour because of his qualifications and his background. He's been working at the Rhineman Theater in Nashville, and so he has a very good background. He originally was a student here, did a lot of training, and Josh had worked with Josh backstage for many years as a high school student, later as a student in the arts. And in order for him to increase pay raise, Josh met with Steve Hale and I, and we found that some changes in his budget would accommodate the pay raise to go from where the previous person was up to $15. So that would be the recommendation, to accept the new job description, and then number 26 was to hire this Emmanuel.
For 25, this is an observation. Is that your department, Anthony?
Yes, it's...
The Civic Center? Yes.
This, I mean, it says reports to, I mean, this is not an indictment on Gail or anything,
Yeah.
but I wonder if
Yeah.
if she should be stricken from that, and, I mean, she's more in the advisory role to the city, shouldn't have any supervisory capacity. Because I understand there's been some confusion in the past about who to report to and chain of command issues, and like I say, nothing.
That's fine with me, whatever you guys say.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Gail, the only other thing I saw in the job description under essential job functions, the last bullet point, where it says in italics, the PS shall work with the executive director, should that be LD or lighting director?
I would believe that would be right,
Okay,
so we can make a correction to that.
yeah.
We can have that redone, and, or if you want to amend that, and this is from Josh, we can just
Do you
change what you want.
take Gail off of that? Or
Just put me, listen now, Gail is intimately involved in that Civic Center,
Yeah.
just as well as the hub, so, you know.
She's involved in everything.
Yeah.
She's our city
Well,
administrator.
Yeah, so I would just like to move her over reports to Josh, they're the executive director, Josh Benson first, myself second in the event, or in the event that Josh is not here, or in the event that neither one of us is here, Gail. So I'd rather just.
So every department now, she's going to be in the chain of command? Because she's involved in every aspect of the city.
My suggestion would be that they simply report to you or your designee.
There you go.
That's nice.
There you go.
Because if the mayor wasn't there, it'd be
You're going to charge us
the
extra
mayor pro
tonight.
temp.
I mean, that's two good ones you've come up with.
Hey, she's getting charged by the hour.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. All right, so reports to executive director, mayor, and/or his designee.
No, it's report to you.
I thought you said,
His department, and then he...
Well, the executive
It's your
director,
department.
Yeah.
because the chain of command, it would report to the executive director of the Civic Center or the
And the
mayor.
mayor.
Or the mayor.
They invented cell phones.
yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. So leave off, I put down mayor and/or his designee. I thought that's what you said.
I just simply said the mayor or his designee, add the word "and" is fine.
No, I'll take a word out, or and out.
Semantics matter in.
That's right. Mayor or his designee, okay. All right, so we have that amended to reports to. Any other discussion on job description? On item 25, need a motion on item 25.
I'll make that motion.
Got a motion?
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower.
Yay.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
Yay.
Mayor Ranella.
Yay. Okay, number 26. We've already been through that. Any further discussion on Fernando?
I'd make a motion to hire Fernando Costello for the full-time
Second.
position.
Got a motion and a second. Hearing no further discussion, call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower.
Yay.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
Yay.
Mayor Ranella.
Yay. Okay, last item on the agenda, on the
New business.
new business, number 27.
This is a previous employee who actually has left the Civic Center to take another position, but would like to stay on for a part-time custodian when they have shows that demand more custodial care. And since he's already had the training, Josh would like to recommend him for just part-time upon need for extra help.
Okay.
I'd make that motion. Second.
And we have monies available to,
Yes, it's not a full-time job, it's just when the, it would be for part-time assistance when they have large shows to clean.
Okay.
Civic Center.
all right. Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower.
Yay.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
Yay.
Mayor Ranella.
Yay. Okay, going back to old business, this, Commissioner, I understand that everything has been satisfied in A,
Yes.
accepting the subdivision plat
Yeah.
as Marion Business Park Phase 1 subdivision. Everything has been met to city specifications,
Yes,
is that correct?
as far as the street,
As
yes.
far as the street, and
Can we get our manhole, Glenn?
I think Brent is,
Brandon, I think, already.
Brent and Scott are both satisfied with
Yeah.
everything, and they've signed off on it.
Yeah. And Doug this week agreed that it'd
Yeah.
be good.
Well,
They-
yeah, he put in the street.
Did they top it?
He put his street in.
Yes, yeah, it's asphalted.
I'd make a motion to adopt ordinance 3456.
Okay.
I'll second.
Is that from, yeah, okay, that's from the last old one. Okay, got a motion and a second. Hearing no further discussion, call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower.
Yay.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
Yay.
Mayor Ranella.
Yay. Did we get anything back on Jacobs and Klein in regards to B?
According to Jacob and Klein, they're putting together a sales tax agreement. They'll put it together if the council approves. It would be what they would recommend, and Steve Hale and I have discussed, would be a 5-year agreement for 1/8 of 1% of municipal sales tax. And we had estimated...
Sales tax.
The sales tax that business
Yeah.
would occur in the future.
Yeah,
So it doesn't come up from anything except sales tax from that
Okay,
business.
because I know what 1/8 of all municipal sales tax
Yes.
generates.
But this would be 1/8 of just the sales tax, which averages around 60, I think. And Steve had estimated...
68?
Yeah, you had estimated what, from 10 to 12,000?
Yeah, it's 20%, but it's at 68 to 85.
8,500, yeah.
Okay.
You know, if you go up to a quarter, then you're jumping all the way up to 17 again. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's because, you know,
And Brian, you looked at some figures as to the cost of that repair. You want to come up and speak and let everybody know why we're here at this?
I talked to Steve a while back, and he had a problem. He's had a couple of holes in his parking lot, and he was afraid of, he's fixed them about a year ago, afraid basically to lose a car or a customer in a hole there. And he's got a storm sewer that runs from, what is that road to the north?
Scottsboro.
Runs all the way, we got a culvert there under our road, and then it goes into the 60-inch CMP. It runs all the way and ties into a box down at Route 13. Runs completely under there. So you'll see that he's got basically half his lot kind of barricaded now. At CMP, kind of like we talked about, Glenn talked about a while back by the Drury, the bottom's just gone. You know, it's. I don't think it was probably installed quite to slope, and it holds water, and so it's just rusted the bottom out. You know, back years. It's been there for decades, I guess. So anyway, he's got all these sinkholes in his lot, and so he's going to do something about it. So we did a calculation on it if he can run a 48-inch instead of a 60-inch, but a smooth wall polyethylene or polypropylene pipe from one end to the other. So I did a quick estimate. I put a quick exhibit together for him. I estimated about $80,000, $90,000. He got a unofficial quote from a contractor without me telling him that it was about $85,000. So he's getting other bids. It may come in a little better for him now, but this was a contractor the city uses quite a bit to get him the $85,000 number. So he was getting bids from 2 or 3 other contractors last time I talked to Steve. So that's when I think at that point he said, you know, I've never asked for anything from the city. I've got half my inventory moved off someplace else. And that's when I think I kind of got him and Anthony together and told them they could talk about that. That's out of engineering, but that's where we're at, so.
So has he ever provided, I saw on a sheet that we didn't have anything for May through the end of July as far as sales tax figures?
No.
And he didn't have anything on that?
No, we get reports from the state on a triangle basis. So we just get them, like next one we will get will be in September, or will be May.
Okay.
Now we can ask him or for his individual sales tax returns.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'd be probably.
You know, we want him to bring them in, because you know, it'd be, you know, they said to send one in for each car, so like, we can go through it and see what he's done.
Based on last year's, how much would our 1/8 be? I mean, based on.
I think it said 8,500 a year.
8,500.
80, okay.
A quarter would be,
Okay.
yeah, a quarter would be, based upon 68,000, would be 17,000.
And that's all he was asking for, is the city to come up and, about with, somewhere around half the price of that. So I think he'll be more than satisfied. So, but if you go out there and look, he's lost half his inventory. He's had to take it to either Carbondale or Mount Vernon or Benton. And he sells the majority of his cars in Marion, and he wants them back in Marion. And we want him back in Marion.
Yeah, he hasn't talked about leaving at all, by the way. I mean,
I'd say let's do it.
Well, if we lose part of an inventory, then it goes someplace else.
Yeah.
Cars that aren't available to sell in Marion. So it would be helpful to keep those sales in Marion.
Of course,
The
yeah.
additional cars. So I see it as an economic development. That's why our TIP consultants, who also do sales tax agreements, are the ones who are putting this together because they were advising, Steve Green said to check with them to make sure that it met economic development needs, and it does.
Right. Now, will this create a situation of what about me across town, though, as far as other businesses, you think?
It has to come to the council and it has to have a valid reason.
Right.
We don't often have large projects that produce that kind of sales tax to actually come to the council for help. And that area was originally TIF number 3 when it was developed as Baker Chevrolet.
So it was an impoverished area, and it's been a long time. With the number of sales and sales tax, I think it's, on our part, when Anthony was discussing it, he saw that as something vital to try to save, a business, and we need more cars to sell here.
If you'll remember, at one time, they were in Benton. They wasn't doing business in Marion, and he had an opportunity to move into that vacant building that was created when Chevrolet moved out west, and he saw a good opportunity for himself and his business, and that's why he moved the bulk of his business to Marion.
And he has been a very good citizen. I mean, they're active in our Sister City program. They've kept Sister City kids. They've been very active in chambers, so we appreciate their business in
He'd be a good candidate for his
town.
benevolence in it.
Yeah. Well, no, let me ask you this. Do we need to wait till we have that agreement in hand?
No, if you know the particulars, you can go ahead and if the council decides to approve the particulars as to what the incentive would be, and then allow the mayor to sign it once it's there. Yeah, you can do it now if you want.
So it's a 5-year agreement, I understand that? Okay.
We have the term of it and the percentage.
Right.
1/8 of 1% of his sales tax for a 5-year period.
Right.
Okay.
I'd make that a motion.
Okay, we have a motion to that effect.
I'll second it.
We have a second.
Steve, is this opening, and I'm all about, this is the right thing to do. My concern is future, the potential for someone else coming back and saying, hey, you helped him, why can't you help me?
Right.
That's my biggest concern, I think, is opening that door.
The concern I had too, and Gail and I were discussing it, where do you draw the line?
Yeah.
That's always true whenever you do some sort of economic development for someone that's either coming into the city.
Well,
You
but
have individuals that are already here that are going to complain.
Right.
So, yes.
yeah, but then on the other hand, Doug, and you've been on this council for a while, and nobody comes in anymore unless you give them a piece of the pie. That's just the nature of the business and the learning business. Fortunately, we have TIFs in place that more than satisfy the needs of these businesses that are coming to Marion. So, yeah, they're asking well in advance and are taken care of. But at the same time, I got a concern about guys like Steve Taylor and his wife that have used their own money, their own capital to build their business, and they're not in any type of enterprise or TIF zone, and they need help on this issue. And if you go out there and look, I'm sure what you're seeing on the surface is only a partial of the damage that's underground there that needs to be corrected. So, and if it doesn't get corrected, it's eventually going to wash more and more of his area out. Than he just says, I can't do business. That's a pretty big building he's got there. I'm pretty sure he's got some, is he buying that, or is he renting it, or do you know, Brian?
I think he owns it.
Yeah,
I think he owns it?
Yeah.
So,
he owns it. Brian, the pipe itself, you said we're going from a 60 to a 48. Does the old 60 get dug out and replaced, or is it a liner?
Well, I gave him an exhibit I'm showing as he's tearing that out. Enough of it's gone, and it was not made a continuous slope
Yeah.
the way it was. He couldn't use it. So he's tearing that all out, putting the 48-inch in, smooth interior, putting the gravel back in, and either put a concrete pad or asphalt pad.
Okay.
I'll show my drawing.
Okay.
So the new pipe's plastic or corrugated?
Polyethylene.
Polyethylene.
Yeah, smooth interior, corrugated outside.
Yeah, like I say, by all accounts, I heard he's a nice guy, but that would be my concern, about the what about me,
Yeah, super family. Do we have, is it up to his contractor to install? That's totally his.
Yeah, I just gave him the drawing and then
Gotcha.
he did his own price. He told me he was getting priced 3 or 4, and they all seemed reputable, and I haven't talked to him since.
Okay.
You're doing that for him. not
Right, for him,
the city.
no, that's the city engineer,
Yeah.
I've given him advice.
Gotcha.
He's taking it from there.
Okay.
Okay, guys, we got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Okay, let's call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower,
No?
Commissioner Patton,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Hey.
Commissioner Goss,
Yay.
and Mayor Vanilla.
Yay. Okay, sir, you come in late. You need to address the council?
Yes, sir.
Would you please come to the mic?
My name's Zane Garner. I'm a Marion maintenance man. I live on 401 Garfield Street, which actually it's more Jackson than Garfield, right there by the railroad tracks.
Yes.
In Washington. What I was kind of hoping you guys would take a look at, or maybe you could do for me, is I would like to get that little stretch between Jackson that heads to Garfield from Washington. So like if you're on Washington Street, it makes a curve right there by the railroad tracks and goes on to Garfield. There's not enough room on that road for 2 vehicles, and I'd like to make it a one-way road where you go down Washington Street and make the curve one way, and like maybe just a do not enter sign right there by the railroad tracks or something like that.
Yep.
A little nervous, not well spoken to some of you others, but.
Oh, you're doing fine.
Yeah, you're doing real good. No, I understand your concern.
So the facts are out there.
Yeah.
I applied for a permit for a fence, and I was granted it, and I've put the fence up, and that's what kind of made me realize that the street may not be big enough for 2 vehicles.
It's not.
And it coming around school season and everything, and buses, and the trash man already, I just kind of didn't want to see an accident happen or something like that of that nature.
Do trash trucks use that?
A trash truck occasionally goes down that one road there.
Okay.
But I think if we made it a one-way road, I don't see where there'd be any problems. We just put a do not enter sign right there on the Garfield.
Do you have a particular of the one-way? East to west,
What I think
west
it would
to
be, how best I think it would be, I'm sorry, sir, one more time with the question.
No, how do you think it would be best served? One way from Washington over to Garfield, or
Yes,
or
sir,
just opposite?
I think it would be best from on the turn there.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I think that would be the best. And
All right. Now, we'll have to address that at our next council meeting, but I think this guy here is nodding his head that that's,
It needs to be done. I
it'd be a
agree.
well-served.
Which I do appreciate you guys letting me put a fence up, though, because I have a young daughter and a little protective, so.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Well, thank you for coming to.
I appreciate you guys' time.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, oh, you don't have school yet, but tomorrow night, yeah, you gotta get to bed early.
Otherwise, I'd have been here earlier, by
Yeah, oh, that's,
Oh, you're good.
that's it, orientation, that's right. Anybody else? Bill, young lady in the back, employee of the hub? Nope. We're done?
No,
No?
you've got to do your bills.
Oh, no, we're getting ready to that. I think, Angela and I would like to talk about an event that happened at Jones Park Saturday that was very well attended and for a very good purpose. As you'll note, our last meeting, we give $250 to the men and gents for back to school at Jones Park. A lot of kids there.
They gave away over 120 book bags.
Yes, they give away book bags with school supplies in them. Kroger came and give boxes school supplies out to these kids. And if you've been watching TV, you know, they estimated that the average cost of sending a child back to school this year was like $267.
That's almost exactly right.
Yeah.
270.
Yeah.
You know, don't you?
Yeah.
Yes. So, I mean, these families were very appreciative. It was much needed and warranted. And next year, when this gentleman, James Gunn, comes, there shouldn't even be any question. It was good. He sat there and was sweating profusely, cooking these hamburgers and hot dogs, and Angela and I can attest they were cooked to a much better magnitude than the event we had down at the Boynton Street Center. They were
Just right.
just right. There we go. Anything to add?
Oh, no, you said it. Said it
Yeah,
right.
so it was a great event. A couple other things I need to talk to you about, which has made it official. The governor signed Senate Bill 2303, granting a 12-year extension to the crisp container TIF. So that's a biggie. We'd been working on that for quite some time. As you know, they're a crisp container. They make bottles for their products. There's only 2 vendors of those plugs in the world, and they saw the need to get into that business, not only for their own means, but to sell out in the open market with this TIF extension, which was it going to expire in September, October?
Yes, October.
Yeah, October of this year. Then this allows them to expand their facility there and create jobs. I don't know exactly how many. I've heard 10 to 15. We just don't really know at this time, and they haven't speculated on that. But that this is going to allow them to expand and create jobs, which will take any time in the city. One other thing is, I get an email today from the National Association of Women and Law Enforcement Executives, announced that Dawn Tondini, our own police chief, has ascended to the position of president of the association. I'll just go by their name. Nolly was created 25 years ago to serve and further the interests of women who are or aspire to be executives in law enforcement. Nolly is an organization not only for female enforcement executives and male and female officers of all ranks in the law enforcement profession. Nolly members embrace the philosophy of lead, inspire, and mentor as a mission of the association. Nolly wants to inspire women to enter the field of law enforcement, empower them to recognize and develop their own leadership potential, and to achieve their own unique goals, mentoring a process through which professional experience, profession, growth allow them to reach their goals. Nolly seeks to include men in the organization so that collaboration and shared understanding of the role and benefit of women in law enforcement can be realized. Nolly continuously thrives to meet the needs of its members by providing training and support services. Services include conference scholarships, webinars, career counseling, mentoring, awards, recruitment, job postings, and policy development assistance. In addition, each year, Nolly holds a conference at which women from all over the country meet to train, network, and possibly meet a future mentee. At the Nolly Conference in early August in Los Angeles, California, Chief Dawn Tondini started her presidency of Nolly. Okay, we all know that Chief Tondini began her career as an auxiliary police officer and part-time dispatcher with the Marion Police Department. She was hired as Marion's first female officer in August of 1993. During her career, Chief Tondini has also served as detective, patrol sergeant, lieutenant, prior to being named chief of police in April of 2014. Since becoming chief, the city of Marion has supported Chief Tondini's efforts to purchase new CAD RMS systems for the department, computer cameras for all police cars, a new digital radio system, and add 2 new K-9 officers. 3 additional dispatchers, and last January, we launched our first narcotics unit. In addition to her position as chief, she serves on the Williams County 911 Board, the Child Death Review Team for Southern Illinois, and is on the executive board for the Illinois Association of Chiefs of Police. Okay, so we congratulate Chief Don Deeney on that appointment, and I know it's going to benefit not only her, but the city of Marion as well. Commissioner Hightower, do you have anything for the council? Commissioner Patton?
No, sir, I'm good.
Commissioner Webb?
Just a couple of quick things. Police report for July had 9 DUIs, 2 ordinance violations, 22 warrant arrests, and 88 traffic accidents. Dispatch calls was 4,504, so we're keeping busy in 911. And 1,783 of those was for Marion. Fire department, we had 75 calls, 17 of which was fires, and 10 rescues, and 13 hazardous conditions. So with that, that's the update.
Dun, 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 dun.
I make a motion to pay the monthly bills as funds become available.
We have a motion to pay the bills.
Second.
We have a second. Call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower?
Yay.
Commissioner Patton?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Goss?
Yay.
Mayor Manella?
And I have a question on the consent agenda. I see where we have a $10,000 limit on earthquake coverage on the hub. And the building, we got about 20 million in it. Do you think that's adequate, or?
Is that the,
It's an
Got a
annual payment.
rhetorical question, or?
It's a $10 million limit on any one loss occurrence on a $20 million building. Doesn't seem to me like that's very prudent. Usually in an earthquake, the damage is probably going to be down, or at least totaled. Just throw it out there for your consideration. I think it's a little light.
Wouldn't hurt to investigate a higher amount, higher coverage, I guess, and see what the premium is.
Since the,
I have a,
since the bill isn't due until August, I'm sorry.
I can't hear you, Gail, I'm sorry.
The bill isn't due until August 31st. We could hold that off the consent agenda and investigate it as Doug was suggesting.
I agree.
I think you're going to find a huge increase in premiums, but it, again, it would be worth looking into.
Right.
Well, we couldn't build back half a building if something went down with this 10 million.
Well, okay. But if you look at premium, it says $12,950 based on TIV of $19,421 and
If you look at it, and Steve's got it open here, it says 10 million.
yes.
Limits of insurance, 10 million instead of 10,000.
Yeah, but that's what Johnny's saying. We got to, then they come down here and say that the building is worth $19,421,355, but they're only insuring it for 10 in an earthquake.
Right.
And it's usually at 80% coverage.
Yeah.
And that doesn't include
And
terrorism,
still
of
look
course.
into, see if there's, what it costs to go for.
Well, I agree with Commissioner Goss. I would like to exclude this from the consent agenda and pay all the other bills.
That's my motion.
That's your motion?
I'll second.
And we've got a motion and a second. Call the roll.
Okay. Commissioner Hightower?
Yay.
Commissioner Patton?
yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Goss?
Yay.
And Mayor Manella?
Yay.
Now, will Gail look into the cost of increase and all that?
Yeah, there.
She'll be the one?
Yes, she will.
Okay.
You feel, well, I mean, I'm sure they're not gonna insure it for any more than the building's worth.
No.
And we're.
We'll bring that back to the council.
Yeah.
Brian usually does most of our insurance.
Yeah.
He and I will both look at it.
Okay. Anything else? Okay, the next meeting will be on August 27th at 6:30. Do we need to have did Steve need a special meeting to get something passed this week?
Yes.
Okay.
An ordinance.
Okay. On a loan?
Yes.
Okay.
It's actually for the street department.
Oh, God. Okay. And Thursday?
It would have to be now, no sooner than Thursday.
Okay.
That works for me.
Thursday at 11:30?
Yep.
Okay.
Are you continuing?
For what?
Can we just continue it as
No,
I think you need to terminate this meeting and then.
for that special meeting, special notice? Okay. Need a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Got a motion?
Second.
Second, call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower?
Yay.
Commissioner Patton?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Goss?
Yay.
Mayor Vanella?
Yay. And then we need to call a special meeting for Thursday at 11:30 a.m. on the 16th of August. Are you going to have your employee ready to hire by that time?
Are we, as far as background checks and everything, is that going to be complete by Thursday?
No.
Okay, all right, forget it. Thought we might be able to work him in. Okay, all right. All right, gentlemen, good meeting. Thank you. A little long,